Okay, so my wife and I went to see A Star is Born this weekend, and we thoroughly enjoyed this film. I mean, even when it opened, you're just riveted the whole time. Now, I had seen the one version of the film with Barbra Streisand and Chris Christopherson years ago on HBO when I was a kid. And I enjoyed the movie then, but, you know, I definitely want to revisit it because this movie was just amazing. So I'm sure that there's some things I probably missed as a kid. And that brings me to what this movie is rated. The new A Star is Born is rated R. The content, it's got some nudity, some subject matter, some language, that kind of stuff. You get a little Lady Gaga side boob with some nipples there and a bare butt scene with them in bed and things like that. So, you know, I mean, it's not that we all haven't seen the goods Lady Gaga has, whether it's from her music videos or the outfits she wears and things like that. But this was a little bit in the flesh. Outstanding job by Lady Gaga, since we're talking about her, and not just her side boob. She did an amazing job. But you know what? Look, she's an entertainer. She's an amazing singer. And if you saw any of I think she did like that tribute to The Sound of Music during one of the Oscar ceremonies, either last year or the year before that. Dude, she's amazing, okay? She's not just a pop artist. Her vocal range is insane. I mean, she even did a movie, or not a movie, but she even did a record with Tony Bennett, you know, doing all the old standards and things like that. And maybe even a Christmas album. I think she did some Christmas stuff. And look, Lady Gaga is just amazing. So you knew she was going to bring it. Did we know she was an actress? Of course. She's an artist, and in a lot of her music videos, she has to emote all these emotions and things like that. So the acting was going to be a no-brainer. She kind of, you know, it's the same thing in the movie with the Barbra Streisand kind of has the nose, and so her character's a little conscious of her face and her nose. And I mean, what are the odds that you'd get someone like Barbra Streisand and someone like Lady Gaga both, you know, having the noses like that, and probably going through the same experience where they were told they were no good, or that their voice was great, but their face, you know, maybe they needed a nose job and things like that. A lot of the same themes recycled from the original film, but also probably things that they really felt in real life and probably had those experiences when you were talking to music promoters and things. So they could probably really connect with that. Bradley Cooper's character was amazing. You know, it's funny because when I watched the original preview, I forgot that Sam Elliott was in it. And I haven't been watching the press junket stuff either. So I really wasn't seeing Sam Elliott. And it didn't even dawn on me when the credits were rolling up in the beginning, because you were so already into it because music is playing and things. So when the titles are coming up, you're really not paying attention to what's going on. So I didn't know Sam Elliott was in it. So Bradley Cooper, throughout the whole movie, he's got a little bit of a voice like this, and I'm doing a bad impression, but, you know, it's just one of them voices. And Bradley Cooper's done this a few times now in movies where he's taken on this new persona. And I said to my wife, I leaned over to her and I was like, sounds like he's impersonating like Sam Elliott. And it sounds a lot like Sam Elliott. Well, then Sam Elliott shows up and he plays his older brother in the movie. And I was like, oh shit. Okay. I get it. He had to learn to do this Sam Elliott type voice because they're both from North Dakota and all this kind of stuff in the movie. But he nailed it. I mean, it was fantastic. And of course, a lot of the stuff that Bradley Cooper does is just amazing. I mean, he's so talented. And so directing had to have been a new experience for him, but I could see that he must have had so much confidence in what he was doing. Because you don't take on a movie like this and not, you know, kind of have an understanding of what the hell you're getting into. I mean, to remake a movie of this caliber and go, okay, I'm going to do it with a little bit of a twist and I'm going to have Lady Gaga on it. I mean, a lot of risks taken. And talk about risks. This is where I'm going next. Andrew Dice Clay is in this movie. Now, it's funny because my friend said the other day, he was like, dude, you got to start following Andrew Dice Clay on Instagram because he does the funniest things on his Instagram. And I started following him, and sure enough, I was seeing him at the premiere for The Star is Born and stuff. But I didn't know he was in it. I just thought, oh, he was just showing up to the red carpet and doing his thing. So sure enough, boom, he shows up. He plays Lady Gaga's father in the movie. And he is awesome. I mean, right away, you just kind of fall in love with the father. And, you know, he really brings the acting chops too. It's kind of cool. I was listening to one of the radio stations today, I think on Sirius Radio, and they were talking about how Andrew Dice Clay had said after this movie that he was going to retire from acting. Because I guess he did a movie with Scorsese that is coming out. I think that's the one with Robert De Niro, and they brought back Joe Pesci and all that to do this Irishman. I think it's called The Irishman. And I think he had a part in that, and he had a part in something else. And this movie, and he was like, I've worked with the best, and I'm retiring as an actor because I've worked with the best, and I don't ever want to tarnish that experience, and I'm going to go back to doing my stand-up and my podcast and stuff like that. But he was like, I want no more of this acting thing. And he's right, man. He did a really good job. So my hat's off to Andrew Dice Clay, dude, because he was really great as Lady Gaga's father in the movie. It's a heavy film. So, you know, the subject matter, drug addiction, you know, there was a lot of parts where, you know, you were really sad and a lot of parts where you were really happy. And I'll be honest with you. Let me tell you something. The scene that Lady Gaga gets on stage for the first time, and I'm not spoiling anything because I think it's in the preview, it's in the music video that they've been running online, and it's been covered. When she gets up and she sings for the first time, where Bradley Cooper's character kind of goads her onto the stage and kind of actually sneak attacks her and traps her and makes her get out there. And you'll have to figure that out when you watch the movie. My hair stood up on my arm, and that was the kind of emotion it got you right then and there, and you had chills. And I sat there and I was just, and my wife, when the movie was over, she told me, she was like, my hair stood up when she got out there for the first time and dragged her on stage. And I was like, that's my hair did the same thing on my arms. It stood up. Lady Gaga was just fantastic, and it was nice seeing her in her dress down, you know, like mousy brown hair kind of look, and just fantastic. Overall, the drag queens in the movie were awesome. So I don't want to spoil anything there. This is my spoiler-free review, and overall, the movie was fantastic. There was a little bit of a twist on how a major event happens later on in the film that was not like the Chris Christopherson movie with Barbra Streisand, which I guess that's their new spin on the movie. But overall, if you like movies like Crazy Heart with Jeff Bridges, where it's this guy who's, you know, on his last leg trying to reinvent himself and trying to get back on stage and going through all that with the alcohol and the drugs. I mean, this is that same type of film. Again, Bradley Cooper, he was just amazing in this movie. You actually felt like he was really playing guitar. I did hear that he took lessons for a year, but never really perfected the guitar. So there was somebody off screen playing the notes as he was doing it. But I mean, the balls it took to get up and shoot scenes. I know that they went to real fairs and stuff where there was a tour going on, and they would come in and they would say, hey, everybody, we're about to shoot a movie real quick. We're going to be on stage here for a minute. And they just did like a live performance. And I mean, it's amazing, like the cojones it took to do that, because that was huge. I know they did something similar with the movie Rocky Balboa, where they wanted to film and they went to a real HBO pay-per-view, and they, in between the bouts, they went and did some of the boxing stuff and had the crowd cheer Rocky and stuff like that. So there are instances in movies where they have gone to real places and used the real crowds. The Bourne Identity did it too, when they went to a real station in Frankfurt in Germany. I think they went to the famous train station there, and they just shot and walked through, because there was millions of people going from train to train, and you couldn't stop it. You couldn't stop any of it. So they had to just go in there and shoot it and hope no one, spiked the camera. That's a term in the film industry. Normally happens with background actors, where the camera will pass by and they give a quick little glance. So there, you've just learned something about the movie industry. Spiking the camera, as background actors have a tendency, some, to slip up and do that. But anyway, back to the movie. Absolutely fantastic. I had a choice to see Venom this weekend or A Star is Born, and my wife I put her through The Predator last time, so we went to see A Star is Born. I'm so glad that I saw this movie. You can expect that Lady Gaga is going to be nominated for Best Song, or even Bradley Cooper, because he sang the real songs in this and wrote them, and he sang them and he did them well. But again, actors, musical theater, singers, dancers, entertainers have a chance, or have a tendency to be able to blend and do all sorts of things. And it just didn't surprise me that he could act. I mean, or that he could sing. It didn't surprise me at all. So yeah, Andrew Dice Clay, Sam Elliott, Lady Gaga, directed by Bradley Cooper. This movie is a must-see. Kids, it's rated R, and there's some subject there. Pass it up. Go see Mary Poppins. That's coming out around Christmas if you want to see a good movie. I think it's going to be a good movie. But if you like this review, you can like it, share it, comment below. Tell me what you thought of the movie. Let's have some fun with it, some back and forth. Subscribe to my channel, share this on social media, and we'll see you next time.